Welcome to the OFO podcast, coming to you from some hellhole in America. Now here are your hosts, David, Ram, and James. Let the pain begin.
Welcome to the OFO podcast, now with 100% more vengeance and heartbreak. I am your host, David. Hope everyone's having a wonderful week. I know I haven't. Let's check in with our fellow men and one cute little boy. How you doing today, Ram?
Doing badass.
Doing badass.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good thing. And it seems like you got your little mini-me.
I do. Baby James.
So we need to include the awe factor into the podcast because everything else here is fucked up. Mentioning a fucked up, let's turn to the little sexual nugget that everyone wants a piece of. Brandon, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, yeah.
Doing good. That's it. How's your week been?
It's been busy.
I know.
Real busy.
Yeah. James, how have you been doing?
Trying to stay focused.
Trying to stay focused.
Past the woman in leggings, and now I can't focus. But I'm patriotic, so.
Yeah, it bugs me with shit like that because, like with me, I see a hot ass and like I just start following it.
Right?
And before I know it, I'm like in another zip code. Like, so I just try not to do that. I keep my blinders on. And
right?
Just the way it is. Let's get on with the show because we got a lot to cover with. A lot of it's going to be me yelling and screaming. So just letting you know. Couple of things real fast. I want to let everyone know that we have a few things up and running. If you're watching this, you've probably seen it. We have our OFO YouTube channel. We also have our Rumble channel, our Spotify channel. This is our OFO podcast RSS feed. This one normally we upload just the regular podcast itself, and yeah, we also on all these other wonderfuls. I didn't even realize we're on Amazon Music. Go figure. I looked it up yesterday when I was setting all this up. And also we have to do a shout out to James, of course, because this is his little thing on YouTube. If you want to do like buying a book or looking at some softcore porn, I mean, that's pretty much all of his wonderful stuff.
Amazon,
yes. Amazon, and then he has his own channels and whatnot.
It's under MD King. That's my pen name. I'll be nice. I'll be honest about that.
And not only that, we also have our X account. So if you want to get on there and leave us hateful comments like everyone else does, please do. It's always fun. Alrighty.
I'm curious, where's the OnlyFans?
We haven't done it yet.
What is that?
Ram's still having his brownie issues.
Oh, okay.
So once that clears, he'll be on there in full banana hammock glory. Hard banana hammock.
Guaranteed.
Or your money not back. Are
you volunteering to start one? An OFO.
Well, I thought we were making one. I don't know. I thought it was in the works.
We're just working on the T-shirt. Did you notice the T-shirt?
Remember, I'm the sound engineer and the video.
No, that's where our softcore porn we're going to be coming into soon. We're not doing the OnlyFans.
I'm taking pictures. I'm not doing anything else.
we start with softcore, then we move on to the hardcore.
You're the boom mic operator.
Yeah, I'm the guy that holds the mic up.
He's bringing the boom. So, leading into the question of the week, and last week, unfortunately, I forgot, and I had to splice it. That's why if you watched it on video, there was a big cut, and then the logo went up. So we had to splice that in. I thought the transition actually worked, though. So go figure. Hopefully this time we don't have to do it. All right. Exactly. Now this week, the question of the week is brought to you by Brandon's Privacy Booth. And hit the intro.
Looking for a little alone time with your lover? Need a quick release on a date and don't have a car? Too broke to afford a hotel room? Well, we have the answer for you. Look no further than Brandon's Privacy Booth. With Brandon's Privacy Booth, we provide a space for all your hookup needs. It doesn't matter if you need 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or a whole hour. With Brandon's privacy booth, we got you covered. Simply enter the booth, draw the curtain, and select how long you and your partner need from our stain-resistant touchscreen. Now, I know a lot of people will ask, how about security? We thought of that too. All of Brandon's privacy booths come equipped with security cameras inside and outside of the booth to ensure your safety, as well as giving you a lovely keepsake video after your stay. Don't wait, act today. Look for Brandon's privacy booths anywhere you see the glowing red light in the state of California.
All right. So that was very disturbing, Brandon. What was with the Great Dane?
I don't know.
What? There's a great thing.
Wasn't my choice.
Sir, you don't. Just no.
I would have rather had a bulldog.
Well,
Bulldog.
I can make some changes.
Yeah.
I just figured, a Great Dane would be proportionally correct.
Maybe a Chihuahua.
Stuff that whole thing
Hey,
under
they got that
snacks.
tongue going on there.
All right, well, the question of the week. Would you rather think of your mom every time you orgasm or prematurely ejaculate every time you have sex?
I'd say prematurely ejaculate. You just keep on coming.
It's got a point, but eventually you need some kind of electrolytes.
I mean, yeah. There are other options. I don't want to think of my mom every time I orgasm. Sorry.
But what if you had like a really hot mom?
No. I'm not going to think of my mom.
I'm surprised no one over here is saying anything about stepmom.
Oh.
So
Right?
I can flat out just say no on that, but no one brought that up.
Is
Really?
it a
You said
stepmom
mom.
situation or?
You said mom.
So it could be a mom. Your mom could be your stepmom, but still, no, it has to be your biological mother.
Still no
Oh,
stepmom.
sorry.
No, premature.
Yeah.
Premature.
Might as well go with the second option. Yeah.
All right, premature ejaculation. Premature ejaculation for all.
I just don't have mommy fantasies. I just don't.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed these little commercials that we're been doing. Granted, I don't have a lot of money to be able to go out and do long clips. That's why there's only like 6 seconds in between these things. And then I usually just have a picture up there. But the audio for is pretty funny. And we're getting some pretty good feedback on, believe it or not, YouTube and Rumble. So cool, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What's the
let's see.
feedback?
Huh?
What's the feedback?
The one I saw for Jerk Safe was probably the funniest one. It was like, bruh, what the fuck was I recommended?
Right.
So,
Trick safe.
Jerk Safe, the safest way to jerk off online. We are retarded. All right, guys. Well, that's going to lead us into our movie review for this week. We are still in the month of July, so this is July is War. Cue the intro.
Bullets flying overhead, explosions everywhere. This is war. This is war. July is war.
And the movie that we decided to watch this week is The Patriot from 2000. Basically, it's with Mel Gibson. He plays Benjamin Martin, and he's driven to lead the colonial militia against the Revolutionary War when a sadistic British officer murders his son. And there you go. See? Yeah, it's all fancy. I got this from IMDb. So, what did you guys think of the movie?
I loved it. I've always loved it. Loved it since the day it came out. I first saw it. Yes.
I mean, it's a great movie if you're even familiar with the way the Revolutionary War started. And that was very mindset-wise of what they were doing, because they were very proper. Stand in the line, reload, fire. And then when they brought in the militia who had different tactics and stuff, it really turned the war around. Mostly because the Europeans just didn't have any respect for the militia at all. So they underestimated us, and that's kind of how we won. Ram, what did you think of the movie?
It's fucking awesome.
I mean, anything you see where like people getting musket shots, come on, it's wonderful. Brandon, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was an awesome movie. It's really good. And going back to like what you were talking about, how they fought back then, it's crazy. Like why Why did they fight like that? Just
was-
all in a line.
Gentleman warfare.
Gentleman warfare, is
Yeah.
that what they call it?
Yeah.
It was gentleman
I
warfare.
was like, why aren't these guys hiding behind cover?
I have my own theories. I know what history says, but I think it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
Well, what were your
crazy.
theories?
but well, if you go back before that, say the Dark Ages, right? War was chaotic. You know, raping, pillaging, destroying civilian and military alike.
Kind of
So there was
sounds
no
like what we're
discipline.
doing now, anyways.
What that did is that brought in the gentleman warfare, as Ram was saying, where they had strict discipline. They only followed their officers' orders. It was obviously proved to be, frankly, suicidal. Honestly, it's really dumb warfare.
Well, yeah, but
But-
if you're a soldier, yeah, but like one of the main rules was no officers can
Yeah.
be harmed. So if you're an officer,
Right.
you're
Right.
set. Like, I lost all my men, but I'm still here.
Yeah,
Really, that
which
was the
is
thing?
Yep.
No officers. Hurt?
yeah. You weren't supposed to kill the officers,
Mm.
so because that creates chaos. So
Yeah.
the soldiers no longer have anybody in control. So, but that's part of my theory is that then it becomes like a game to the officers and the king. They could play this game of war, and the risk of them dying is minimal.
It's basically like a live action chessboard.
Yeah.
That's the way I always looked
Yeah.
at it.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what it became, and so I think it was terrible. So with no risk to or little risk to the officers, because they weren't supposed to be killed. I mean, obviously, if you rush in like the Dragoon guys, you rush in the middle of combat, you're fair game. But if you're in your position at the end of the line, and you're calling your orders, you weren't supposed to be targeted.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just kind of how I always thought about that. But obviously that way of fighting died off.
Yeah, thank God it did. And now we're back to the chaos and plundering and people, innocents getting murdered.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we don't even have to land there. We just bomb them.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like, we don't need soldiers. We got these wonderful drones. We're just.
Well, you still need soldiers. You can't occupy a territory with just drones. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But if you want to wipe out a territory, and you don't need
True.
soldiers, you just
Especially,
send
yeah.
a bunch of drones.
There are some pretty interesting drones being developed that have been under development for a long time that can really do a lot of damage.
Do they have those dog drone things?
Yeah.
Those dog robots?
Yeah.
What are those called?
I don't remember what
Dog
they're called.
robots?
Called rovers?
Yeah, there's something like that. They're basically just used as pack mules.
That's crazy.
But they're awesome. They can carry
I'm
a
telling
lot
you,
of
we're getting so close to becoming like that Wall-E movie. We're all just going to be fat and little hover carts and shit like that. And robots are going to do everything for us.
We'll die before then.
Have you guys ever seen Black Mirror?
I've heard of it,
little
but I've
bit.
not seen it.
There's an episode of Black Mirror where those military dogs take over like a certain area of the world. They just kill everything in sight.
I'm just remembering now. I'm thinking about that fucking episode of Rick and Morty, where like Snowball like gets the thing that he can control in the little robot body, and the dogs take over the
Oh,
world.
the dog, yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking of that now. So now I can watch that when I
He
get
can
home.
talk and he can speak and stuff and starts taking over.
Ram, I know you got your hands full. Is there any particular thing in the movies that you enjoyed or liked?
The hotties.
Oh,
I love the hotties.
Well, the corsets helped.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I think they should bring back is the corsets.
I like
like
how
it
they
too.
dressed like that. It's
Very
pretty
dignified with their tits almost hanging
Right.
out.
There's
Right.
only two.
Two is better than
There's
none.
only two girls, right? Yeah, Anna and the
Well, there was more women in the movie. It was
Those are the
They're
ones
all
that were prominent.
prudes.
two hottest ones.
Yeah.
Two hotties.
Was there any scenes that kind of stuck out to you guys or anything that you liked?
I think more what it represented for a real tactics, not necessarily a real event specifically, but the real tactics like the irregulars, ambushing in the swamp or whatever.
Yeah.
That was something that the British were just simply not accustomed to, and they had to adjust. But then the same kind of thing where it became where the settlers had to adjust that kind of thing from the Indians because Native Americans would attack in the same kind of fashion. They had to adjust to that. So that definitely, I think that was really awesome. I love seeing those scenes.
I like the humor. There was a little bit of humor in there. I like when they get Cornwallis' shit and they have dogs and he's like, so what do we do with this stuff? He's like, well, I say we eat the dogs. And then Mel Gibson looks, he's like, yeah, dogs are good to eat. And then like the priest is just like looking at him like, what the fuck? So I thought that was pretty funny. I liked Heath Ledger's acting in it. I always
I
think
know,
he's awesome in everything he is, even that Brokeback Mountain, I really believed he wanted to suck cock. Really,
I've
really
never
did.
seen it, and I never will, because that will
Yeah.
destroy my image of that man. So I will not watch
It will
that movie.
change your view of him,
Yeah,
sir.
and I
He's
do
like,
not
he's
wanna
a
do
great
that.
actor. He made me believe he wanted to suck cock.
Exactly, and I don't want to think that about him, because I loved him in so many movies. And in fact, in this particular one, they could not have cast it better between him and Mel Gibson.
They
played
really
those
seem like
parts
father and son.
perfectly. Yes. So excellent cast.
His kids were great too. The people they cast for the kids, like the
Mhm.
boys, were like physically crying while they're killing the European soldiers during that
Yeah.
ambush. I mean, they had great acting all around from all of, especially like the little mute girl that
Mhm.
finally speaks. I was like, that was heartbreaking,
Mm-hmm.
but it was great. I loved it. Let's get out of the nudity rating real fast. Like last week, no shocker, 0. It does have cleavage in it, so it did help, but still not a nipple in sight. Star rating, I give it a 5. I mean, I really love this movie. That's one of the reasons I picked it.
Mm-hmm.
Ram?
5. Great acting all around. Really good.
5. Great acting, great casting, great action.
And Brandon, like 75 out of 90 or something like that?
13.2.
13.2.
I'd give it an extra 10 points just for the patriotic feel that it gives you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was really good. I don't know. Right now we should be moving on to Ram's top 10, but I don't think
I got it.
you got it. All right,
Yeah.
so cue the intro. Here's Ram's top 10 out of contact spots.
Ram's got voices running through his head. Ram's rod is about to penetrate your mind. Here's Ram's top 10 out of contact thoughts.
Number 1, my pornography is coming. Number 2, whip the children to teach them a lesson. Number 3, whip the children to teach the bad guys a lesson. No, okay.
I don't think he likes that.
I'm sorry. Number 4, if he doesn't bang her, I will. Hell, even if he did, I'd still hit that. Number 5, who came up with this battlefield etiquette bullshit? Number 6, you think that'll stop me from fucking your hot daughter? Think again. Number 7, the French tickler. Where are you going? Number 8, backdoor shaft action. Number 9, double penetration. Number 10, I'm erect with patriotism right now.
And that was Ram's top 10. It's always amusing. Even more so when he's trying to chase after a 2-year-old.
Almost 2-year-old.
I swear, I think he's ready to drive, sir.
He is. He likes to grab the steering wheel, scream, and turn
So
the
we hear
blinker.
you were in a car accident. We know he was driving. Okay.
I'll blame it on him because I was drinking.
Well, you got a little designated driver, sir. That's wonderful. All right. Well, as you guys may have seen at the video, I put a little thing in there not very long from a friend of mine that passed away just a few days ago. And so the guy who killed him is our douchebag of the week. Go ahead and cue the intro.
This is a douchebag. I said douchebag. Douchebag of the week.
Alrighty. Douchebag of the week is annoying. He's a prick. And his name is Cristobal Stefan Garza. And yeah, basically, this weekend, this piece of shit was, what I understand was, it's getting conflicting bullshit. But from my understanding, he was evading police. He was drunk. He was on something. And he had drugs on him. And he basically hit the expressway.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. And that was basically me like a few days ago.
I might just cut this off because I don't have anything else besides Rams top 10.
Okay, man. I mean, I think Ram's gonna go in and need to take off because Jamie's being a little fussy.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay, dude. Life, things like this does happen. And we got Rams top 10s out of the way. So just Mike. And then you can go ahead and just take off, dude. Go to your beach. He's gonna go to the beach.
All right. Lucky. Beach sounds fun.
All right, guys, have fun and enjoy.
Later, Ram.
Bye.
Easy.
Oh, actually, hand this to James over there. I was putting it in my case.
Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. The cute. Enjoy it now, guys. The cute factor's about to leave.
Yep.
You got to badge out.
Oh. New thing?
No, if the sensor doesn't work, then you just have to badge out.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Have fun.
Right.
So first, our basically, yeah, our podcast sucks so much, even the host wants to leave. So fun. Going back onto this, basically, a Harlingen man, a Donna man, has been arrested in connection with a fatal expressway crash involving a tow truck driver, and that was my friend David. Yeah, two Davids don't make a right. At approximately 5 p.m. on Highway 2 East, FM 506 in Harlingen, David Zapata, 46, was standing outside of his 2010 black tow truck, securing another vehicle into the tow truck in the shoulder lane. Cristobal, 28, driving a white Dodge Ram, was traveling eastbound on Highway 2 and struck Zapata after failing to slow down or move over for the emergency vehicle. The prick then decided to leave the crash site. Garza was booked in Cameron County jail following his arrest for intoxication, manslaughter, failure to slow down, causing death, failure to stop and rendering aid, and possession of a controlled substance, according to the release. What they don't tell you about this is basically the chain of events that started on it was my sister, I am white, so she could be my daughter too. I don't know. Kind of hillbilly-ish. I don't know. But my sister, she was driving home and there was a giant traffic jam. So she was on the shoulder, on frontage road, and she took pictures of what looked like a body cut in half. I mean, literally.
Mm-hmm.
His torso was severed. And I couldn't see the face or anything like that because it was just the torso. And that was pretty fucked up. I sent it to you, and I sent it to Ram, and you guys were asking, well, who was it? How did it happen? And my daughter, she's eventually going to be going to school for mortuary. So I figured, you know what, let me send her this because maybe it'll scare the shit out of her. Maybe she won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already raised her morbid as it is. Don't need her to work in a mortuary. And she was looking at it, and she was trying to find out some information when her mother called her and let her know that it was our mutual friend, David. And that sucked because, look, I love horror movies and things like that of that nature, but I don't actively seek actual dead bodies out. And to find out that your friend out there was laying in the road it was heartbreaking. I'm still trying to kind of get over it a little bit. I've been out of work for a few days. I just needed to get away from all this crap. It's fucked up. And it just, I don't know how to convey how upset I am. And just sad. One thing I do want to bring up is they did set up a GoFundMe account for him. This is David, as you saw in the opening video. They've already hit their goal, but I mean, anything else you guys want to donate to. And it's really actually pretty impressive. There's been some anonymous donations for some big money, but a lot of the tow truck companies around here, they've been donating as well. because that was his job. And, the thing I don't like about this whole thing is that they're talking about how, oh, yeah, it's because you need to slow down and move over when you see someone like doing their job on the side of the expressway, which is true. But what they're not talking about is how this piece of shit was drunk on drugs behind the wheel of a vehicle. And if he hadn't have been that, maybe it wouldn't have happened, because they hit him so hard, he flung to the tow truck and that metal just,
Yep.
I know you guys don't know him like I do and a lot of other people. Unfortunately, I had the duty to call a few of our mutual friends and let them know, and they're still in shock. They're not taking it well at all. What do you guys think about this whole situation?
Well, it's horrible. I mean, yeah, I hear about people saying, well, you should move over when there's somebody working on the side of the road. On all fairness, depending on traffic, you can't always do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just, but then you've got to pay attention. Give them as much room as you can. Pay attention. I mean, you can't do anything if the guy jumps out in front of you, but that's not what happened here. This was entirely the driver's fault, by all accounts. So yeah, it's guy was just trying to do his job.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it'll be the last thing he's ever done. And his funeral was yesterday. I elected not to go. More like I don't like funerals. I just never have. I've been to like 2 my entire life, and I broke down at both of them. So I wasn't going to do that, especially with something where I knew he was going to be closed casket because of all this. And, I want the family to be strong for that kind of stuff. And they don't need another crying person there. So I elected not to go. The other things that is really actually pissing me off is that the pictures of him are floating around on sites. My friend in Wisconsin, Larry, he's a mutual friend. I had to let him know about it. He's like, the pictures of his accident are already on like some of these websites you go for, like horrific deaths and stuff like that. And just don't post these things online. No one wants to see that. I mean, there's curiosity. Everyone loves to see a car wreck. Everyone wants to see something. But like they said on here, this quote, David Zapata lost his life on the expressway while doing his job. He was out there working to help someone, just like a tow truck drivers do every single day. A driver didn't slow down, didn't move over, and didn't stop. What made it even worse was seeing the graphic images of his body shared online. Not just once, but over and over. It was careless, it was cruel, it was wrong. And you know what? I'm 100% agreeing with that. I mean, there's all what happened or anything like that, but for the people that actually knew that person, that's heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
But that's the society we always live on, and that's the society everyone wants to know what happened. What happened? Let me see. Oh, look at this horrible tragedy. What happened? I'm not saying I'm innocent of that. I'm not. I've done it before. I'll probably do it again. But I think I'm a little bit more mind conscious now of it, or I shouldn't have to deal I shouldn't be doing it. And because at the end of the day, that's someone's loved one. That's someone's friend. And that's just me personally.
Yeah, you're detached when it's not somebody you know.
Yeah.
So I understand why people do that, because to them it's just another person. Person out there. They don't know them. They don't care. They're not family, friends. I'm guilty of that too. Well, sort of. I'm guilty of looking. I've never actually posted images of people that have passed online. I'm guilty of looking.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I've been in scenes where I've like taken pictures of it, but I didn't post them anywhere because that's just that's kind of like what I do for you guys. I sent you the pictures via text. I didn't share it on social fucking media.
Yeah,
there's a line.
It was personal.
So,
I see that as disrespect if you're gonna be posting online like that.
Yeah,
I heard it was all over Facebook and stuff.
I don't know how they get away with that. I just don't. I mean, like I said, I'm guilty of it. Like I've watched that thing where Saddam Hussein got hanged like about 1 billion times. And it keeps getting funnier every time I watch it. But that's a prick that deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Not my friend David. He was a family man. He wasn't perfect, and then that pisses me off when people go out. Oh, he was so great. He was innocent. Bullshit. I've been to Mexico with him. We did things. But his family was the most important thing to him, and he busted his ass. He owned his own company, and he like from when I knew him to like right now, he did a complete 180. And that's kind of what I want to remember him by. Although in the funny stories, and like one time, we were him and his wife were fighting, and he calls me. I was like, dude, can I stay at your house? Like, sure. So we start drinking at my house, and then I don't know what happened, but like 4 a.m, we're in fucking Mexico. He's at the bar drinking. I'm in the back with a prostitute, and actually, I think it was in the back with 2. I don't remember. It was a little fuzzy. But then I got back, and then we drove back home. He crashed on my futon. But I remember like stupid shit like that, and those are the memories I want to remember. Just doing weird, stupid crap. I didn't see a donkey show with him, and that's where I drew the line. Okay.
Are you sure?
You said it was a little fuzzy. You could have gone.
You could have gotten
You could have gone to the donkey
It's
show.
possible. It's possible, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. So now me and you guys had a little background. Let's get back to the piece of shit. So this guy has been arrested not once, not twice, but 3 times, all for drug-related charges. This one makes 4. How the fuck is this piece of shit still out there? From 2008, he was arrested in 2020 in March, and then towards the end of the year in December again, and then he paused for a couple of years and got arrested again. And these are just from Hidalgo. Now he's got another one from Cameron County. That's where he was arrested over there for that one. Every single one of them is with drug-related charges, except for one, which is drug-related and theft. So, and we're going to be leading into this later. We're going to be talking about our broken justice system. How the fuck is this guy still around? Because if people put him away, maybe scared him straight or something.
This is my guess, because I've seen this over and over, especially when drugs or alcohol is involved. They receive a relatively light sentence. They get a mandatory drug or alcohol treatment, right? Maybe they end up in a halfway house or something like that. They cycle through, they end up back out. These things don't take very long, and they almost never work. The recidivary, I forget what the word, recidivary? I don't know. Yeah. The repeat rate is really high, so they go through these things. And so getting treatment, okay, fine. But, I would bet he probably went through it more than once with all of these drug charges. I mean, yeah, and I've had friends that instead of allude to getting them jail time, they gave them rehab, and that shit never works. Right. Granted, it saved a lot of people, and a lot of people are out there, and they can save some lives, but more times than not, they're going to use it again. I'd give them one chance, to do the rehab once. Well, I mean, but then after that, if they keep repeating, then tougher sentence. Well, I mean, for drug addicts, like hardcore drug addicts, yeah. I mean, put them in a rehab for a year, a minimum of 1 year. And if they do it again, then at that point, they go to jail. It's a little different than alcoholics. Me personally, I think it'd be, you get pulled over DWI, all right, well, do you lose your car, period. And we're crushing it into a cube. We'll mail you the cube. Be right there. But that's for alcoholics. But either way, I mean, I'm not saying that I've never driven drunk, because I have. And if I went out there and I killed someone, I would expect to be charged as getting murder. Not this bullshit where it's like vehicular manslaughter. No. You get into a vehicle,
You load yourself up with booze and alcohol. You kill someone. To me, that's murder.
Mm.
That's the way I look at it.
You know when you get behind the wheel, when you're drunk, that you are putting others at risk. That is well known. This isn't something that's brand new. You know, it's not like when cars first came out and people were drinking. This is not a new thing. You know, and people
over 100 years,
right? This, you know, so you're well informed that getting behind the wheel is a risk, and that you are putting others' lives at risk. You know, so to me, that's no different than if I just randomly start shooting my gun in town. Most of the time, it's not going to hit anybody. It's going to hit a house or a tree or a car, but it's not going to hit a person. But the one that randomly hits someone, I'm going to be charged for murder.
Yeah. I mean, there's driving while intoxicated, any more drugs, that nice little combo. It should be manslaughter. It shouldn't be manslaughter. It should be straight out murder. I don't know what kind of the second degree or third degree or something like that. I don't know where it would fall under, but it's definitely not manslaughter. I'm not saying it's premeditated, but I mean, when you get behind the wheel of a car and you're not supposed to be driving, you're probably gonna hurt someone.
That, or they need to have something in between. You know, I don't know, but because it's definitely needs to be tough. You got to be, you know, part of punishment isn't just punishing the individual; it's a deterrent to others. You know, so if people don't, if you see light sentences, why would you care?
Yeah.
You know,
and that's kind of how everything works nowadays. Charges and shit that should be actually serious, they're like, probation. You only killed 5 people.
right?
It's things like that just it boils my ass over this shit, because if he hadn't been drinking and loaded on drugs, more than likely my friend David would still be here today.
Mm-hmm. That one decision of his, you know, of the driver, I don't remember you said his name was?
Cristobal. That's right there.
Cristobal
Steven
Garza. Yes. Yeah. That one decision ended another man's life.
And it just, I just can't believe how some of this shit goes down. Because, I mean, there he is in the carrot suit. Fourth time being arrested. And there's nothing out there that people are just straight out angry and pissed off about this, that they need the laws of this shit changed. They do. There needs to be stiffer penalties for this.
Do you know what the maximum sentence he could receive for this?
Manslaughter. Let me see here.
A lot of times they'll take a person's past records into account. Obviously, he's got all these other convictions, and then they're like, okay, well, obviously you're a serious threat to the community. So even though the charge may not be murder, you know, you could end up with a tougher sentence if you max out the sentence for manslaughter, as opposed to people that get murder and get 6 years. You know.
According to this,
which I never understand.
The maximum sentence is 2 to 20 years in prison.
Yeah, so
I'm hoping it's the latter.
Yeah, if they give him the 20, then you know that's something. You know, plus the other charges, because all that can be tacked on.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, they didn't say exactly what he he had possession of, but my guess, weed and coke, that kind of goes hand in hand down there.
Honestly, I think if you kill somebody, I think you should be either put to death or be in prison forever.
I think there's limitations on that. I mean, I agree with some of that, but like, if let's say this guy was completely sober and he just didn't see him and it was a general accident, then at that point, okay, I believe a manslaughter charge.
Legitimate accidents happen.
Yeah,
you know, where it's neither person's fault. It just happens in the wrong place, wrong time. You know, he hits some ice or whatever, tire blows out, boom. It's not your fault.
No, it's not.
You know, it just happens. But this is a result of that man's decision.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant, like something like that. If it's just an accident, I don't think. I think that would be fine.
Yeah,
because that's manslaughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. In Texas, intoxication manslaughter is a second-degree felony carrying a maximum sentence of 2 to 20 years in prison and a fine of $10,000. The way I look at it is he's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
He is the douchebag of the millennium. And I hope to God they give him every fucking minute in prison. I want to hit him. I want this to be considered a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And was shit like this, the death penalty should definitely be on the table. That's just my opinion on it. And this is coming from a place of anger and grief. But yeah, I'll go Old Testament on this shit. An eye for an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Throw him against a goddamn tow truck and have him ripped in half.
Yeah. Well, you were mentioning the was it a GoFundMe account?
Yeah.
For the family. If you get a chance, would you plug the address for that or the name that they're under so that people can donate? I think that it's nice for people to donate to the actual victim as opposed to the perpetrator in this case.
Yeah. If you just go to GoFundMe, if you type in David Zapata, he'll pop up.
Cool.
That's how I found
I'll
it.
do that.
And like I said, there's a lot of people that donated. I did. My sister did. I sent it to my daughter. I don't know if she did or not.
Yeah. Hey, every little bit helps. You know, families are not only having to deal with grief, but they're going to suddenly have this drop in income and, you know, whatever else happens. But
well, what's fucked up is that what my daughter was telling me, because she's been more in contact with his kids. I haven't seen them in years.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when his firstborn was just a little baby, and
mm-hmm.
it shows how way back, how out of the loop I've been for a while. But his son was supposed to be on that tow truck that day, but he couldn't get a ride over there. So his father's like, okay, well, I'll just do it then. So another thing, that's one thing I think about is knowing David the way I knew him. He would have much been more happy if him to die than his son.
Mm-hmm.
So little victories, a little ray of sunshine. At least his kids are okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what would happen if his son went out there and he got killed like this.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it could have been completely different. We'll just
yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
You can't really know what's going to happen or if things were switched.
Yeah, you don't know.
Tough.
I wasn't going to drink tonight, but now I'm talking about all this crap. I'm probably going to do it again. I swear to God, I think I've given myself alcohol poisoning this week.
Don't overdo it, man.
I
know it's tough.
But yeah, it's not a good scenario. Calling the people I knew that knew him, that was probably the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everyone thought I was fucking joking. Because, I'm an asshole. I do shit like that.
Right.
But
you're like, hey, our friend. No, that's not what you're doing.
That's what I thought my daughter was doing at first, because she's texting me back and forth. And it's like, oh, that guy that was killed, you know him. Mom says you know him. I'm like, and she says David Zapata. And I'm like, oh, no, bullshit. I was like, where's the article? Because she's pranking me or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like right around this when Channel 4 came out and announced it. I was like, son of a bitch. So it's not a good scenario at all. I feel so sorry for Gracie and his kids.
Mm-hmm.
You had a good father. He wasn't perfect. No one is in this world. But I know he loved you guys very much. And taking solace that, like, look right here. I mean, you have quite a few other people that are donating, and they care too. You've already met the goal, and hopefully people will continue to keep donating to help you guys out. So my prayers are with you. I'm sorry I couldn't been there yesterday for the funeral. I just couldn't deal with it. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Fair enough.
Let's go ahead, and since we already started to talk about this a little bit, let's talk about our broken justice system.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep. I have a couple of, these aren't really recent, but these are just a couple of examples that I found on way our justice system's kind of like completely broken. On Christmas Eve, Ezekiel Gilbert hired an escort and gave her $150 as what he believed was a payment for sex. But when she didn't deliver that, Gilbert shot her in the neck and she died several months later from critical injuries. A jury acquitted Gilbert after his lawyer argued that he was authorized to use deadly force under a Texas provision that goes even farther than Florida's stand your ground law and authorizing the use of deadly force to retrieve stolen property at night. As in any jury trial, we'll never know if that, why they acquitted him. Regardless, he's not going to be facing any penalty charges at all.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's just wrong.
he hired a prostitute. He didn't get sex, so he's like, well, fuck you, and then shoots her.
Yeah, I mean,
And gets acquitted.
it would be one thing if she had specifically said that, yes, this will include sexual favors. Technically that's theft because she didn't provide. But you don't get it. I don't get that, because let's say, I don't know, you hire a tow truck driver and he doesn't tow your truck, but you paid him. You don't get to shoot him for it. You sue them for it.
Well, obviously, if it's night, according to Texas, you can.
Apparently, if it's night, you can. So,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's insane. I don't get that. I just don't, because for one, there was no threat. It's $150. Come on, guy. It's not the end of the freaking world.
There's no reason to almost go to jail, which he
Yeah.
obviously didn't.
Right?
That's a really good lawyer.
And he wouldn't. I get it. He wouldn't be able to sue her because the transaction was for illegal services.
Well, the thing is, that's another thing that pisses me off. I don't know why they don't do it like they do in Nevada. Well, at least in certain parts. Just legalize it. You just all the pros, let's call them pros, they get tested. They have to carry a medical card with them. They get tested every round. They get taxed their income.
You treat it basically like porn production in California.
Yeah.
That they do all that, or prostitution in Germany. It's because it's everywhere. I get solicited on Tinder and other places all the time. I don't take it.
Sure you do.
But yeah, it's that's what they do. It's everywhere. So you might as well regulate it.
You might as well. I mean, look, fucking is legal. Selling is legal. Make selling fucking legal.
That's actually it. It's one of those things. While I actually do have moral objections to it, but the reality is if the action isn't illegal, having sex is not illegal. Paying somebody for services is not illegal, but specifically the outlawed paying for sex is illegal. But it's not national. This isn't a national thing. It's illegal by each state because the federal government wouldn't have the authority to actually make it illegal.
Yeah.
But nobody ever goes and tries to make it legal per state. There's no big movement for it.
People have tried. I've seen and here in Texas, they've tried a couple of times and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I think it was right after the little whorehouse in Texas came out. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just it is one of those things that I just think of as, hey, I don't like it. I don't think it should be, culturally approved. But I don't see how you can legally or constitutionally outlaw it, because neither action is illegal, but you make it illegal just because you pay for that action. If I take a girl out for a date and I pay for everything on the date, she benefited from me financially.
Yeah.
And we have sex and we never talk again. We know that the whole reason why we had sex is because I paid for all this crap. It was a financial transaction. It just was in goods.
It wasn't
and services
monetary
instead of monetary.
Yeah.
It's the same damn thing,
It is.
just without the headache.
Yeah. That's why there's porn out there, sir. It's cheaper than dating. I'm telling you, sir.
Right.
You get yourself some tissues. You got your phone. You got now in Texas, you need a VPN.
Mhm.
20 minutes later, you're done. You got that post nut clarity, and you're good to go.
Hey, we all got to have that post nut clarity from time to time.
Just remember, November's coming up, sir. I mean, hands off, sir. We do it very strictly here on the OFL podcast.
It's good for resetting the brain. Get you reorganized, reset.
2 times a day, sir. All right.
But no, I don't know what we got off on that. But yeah, as far as the broken legal system goes, there are some good examples of it going all ways, from going bad to controversial or neutral to a good outcome. It goes everywhere. But like I say, it's on paper, it's great. A jury system, basically a mediator, the judge. Both sides represented. On paper, it's great. I think it's
Yeah.
a wonderful concept.
I mean, compared to other countries, we have the
Yeah.
best judicial system in the entire world
But it still
when
gets
it
wrong.
works.
Yeah, it still gets it wrong sometimes. Sometimes it's grievously wrong. Like in that case, I think that was even though technically it was within the law, it just sounds like it was clearly murder.
Well, I mean, technically, it's still in the books. If someone goes out and steals a horse, you can legally hang them.
Right?
It's in there. You can still do it.
I mean, so that's kind of actually really interesting, honestly, when you think of it in a historical context. But
Well, I got another one. This one's back from 2012. A female student at Florida State University accused FSU quarterback James Winston of sexual assault. Instead of taking the case seriously, however, the Tallahassee police conducted a flawed, mismanaged investigation, even warning the victim's attorney that Tallahassee has a big football town and the victims need to think long and hard before proceeding against the football star. The state attorney's office then conducted an investigation that centered more on the victim than on the suspect, according to the victim's attorney, resulting in a complete failure of a rape investigation. The state ultimately decided not to bring charges against Winston and will never know for sure whether he's innocent or guilty because no one took the case seriously enough to find out.
see, that's messed up. We've all heard plenty of examples of false accusations.
Yeah, the whole Me Too movement, but
whole
this was
Me-
pre-Me Too. So.
But yeah, but there are plenty of examples just like that where yes, they didn't take an investigation seriously. A woman did come out and make the accusation in a timely manner, not waiting, in a timely manner where evidence was available. They just didn't collect the evidence.
Yeah.
Like going to a hospital, for example, and no evidence was collected, or a rape kit wasn't used, or whatever. Too many examples of that. So as I tell women, I have nieces, I have a daughter, tell them, God forbid something like that happen, don't go home and take a shower.
Unfortunately, a lot of them
Go
do.
to the hospital and have a rape kit done so you have evidence.
Yeah.
If I go and I get beat up, because men are assaulted all the time, men are actually more likely to be assaulted than women on the street. I get beat up and I go and I wait 2 weeks for the bruises and everything to heal before I go report it. Nothing's going to happen. There's zero evidence. So get that evidence from the beginning. I know it's hard, but you got to be thinking that, this guy needs to go to freaking prison. You can't wait. You have to deal with it at the time.
Yeah.
As hard as it is. So I don't know what the case was in that case. I don't know how long she waited to report
She
it.
could have been lying too. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm not the whole believe all victims crap, because we saw how many people's careers and people get arrested for shit found out years later. Oh, it was all bullshit.
Yeah.
you said he was a famous football star, right?
Yeah,
In
over
that
at
area?
over at the university
she
over
could
there.
have been trying to do something.
It could be.
I don't know.
I
Could be.
mean, but if the case isn't taken seriously, I mean, I think any accusation, regardless of it, should be taken seriously and actually has to be investigated.
Exactly. Investigate. Do a legitimate investigation. If it turns out to be nonsense, frankly, the woman should be charged.
Yep, I agree. If you file a false rape accusation, you should face the same exact penalties that person would have if he was found guilty.
Yep. As long as you can prove that it's false, because there is that gray line where they just can't prove it. They can't prove that she's lying, but they can't prove that it actually happened either, so you can't get a conviction. She shouldn't be charged in those cases. But if you can prove that she deliberately lied, she knew it was a lie, it was in malice, absolutely, because that happens all the time.
Yeah.
People like to say that women don't make that stuff up. Yeah, it's actually very, very common.
Yeah, it's very common.
It's a weapon that women commonly use against men. It could be as simple as, or something as serious as rape, or something as simple as, I don't know, he's creepy at work and stands around too long and he's making me uncomfortable. They use these kind of things against men all the time. So
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend that something similar happened to them, and he luckily saved text messages. So he was saved on that. So yeah, I save everything now.
Yep.
Including the cameras in my house. You should see some of the videos. I make great amateur porn, sir. Just great.
It wasn't from cameras, but that's how I saved my job once, because a woman made an accusation and I had all the emails and texts to prove she was completely lying.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays you need to save everything because unfortunately we still have that culture where it's like, oh, woman cries wolf, and everyone, majority of people now still believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. So yeah.
but I mean, there's other instances of the way our justice system is just fucked up. Like the subway thing over in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the damn names. It was Daniel Tenpenny or something like that. White guy puts a chokehold on some black guy who's threatening to kill people. Unfortunately, he dies. They're trying to get him for life. Within a week, I think it was a week, a black guy attacks a crazy white guy with a knife, trying to prevent him doing basically the same damn thing. Let out on bail, low bail. I think the case is over, not guilty and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? One was white, attacked a black person. The other person was black, attacking a white person. And there should be consequences with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And no, and if it's a hate crime, make it a hate crime. Add that stipulation onto it because I'm getting sick of that shit too.
Well, yeah, actually, I don't believe in hate crimes because it should be no more illegal for me to punch you because I don't know. Let's pretend you're gay, and I just hate gay guys, right? So I punch you for that. Why should that be more illegal than I punch you just because I'm an asshole and I like to start fights?
True, but if you're targeting someone, I believe it too. But the thing is, like a black guy goes out like there when he was when all the black people were out there attacking all those Asians.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get labeled as like no, and there were legitimate hate crimes because they were out there targeting just Asians and beating them up. They weren't. Some maybe got robbed, but they were seriously attacking them. And what happened? But it's just like anytime you hear anyone like someone white attacking another minority, hate crime. They hate crime.
Well, that's the problem with hate crime things. It's just like hate speech. It only they don't get used evenly. So like I said, I would be charged if you're a gay guy, right? It would be hate crime. But if you're black, I'd be charged because they'd say, he used a racial slur, therefore it's a hate crime.
What do you call me? You called me a sexual milk dud,
right? You're a white guy, and if I'm a white guy or I don't care, I'm Asian, and I hate you, and I'm saying all kinds of racial slurs, they will not be charged with a hate crime.
Nope.
So that's why I'm against it because they're not handled evenly.
Well, I think the whole Asian thing is because they're small, so we feel bad. It's like we're arresting toddlers.
Yeah, well, you're right, but the black on Asian hate crime is common. When the media was going on about the attacks on Asians, you notice they kept leaving out the perpetrators.
Yeah.
Over and over and over, it was black guys because that is where the anti-Asian hate comes from. It doesn't come from the overwhelmingly white community. In fact, most of the whites I know have kind of an Asian fetish.
I do.
They like the Asian girls.
Find me an Asian woman that can fix me some good Chinese food or shit like that. I'm getting married.
Right. Same. So if you're Asian and you're out in the market and you're a cutie,
if you're like the one woman that listens to this fucking podcast,
right, it's not gonna happen. But hey, we can dream, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Seriously, because when it comes to the broken justice system, it goes all the way down from the cops to the judges, to the juries. You could be going on like from no-knock raids, violating civil rights. I'm not a fan of those. Especially since they're being used over nothing but a phone call.
Yeah.
No evidence, no other reason than some random phone call from a phone that you can't even trace. So you get these swatting incidents. Suddenly because the purpose of that is to commit murder by cop. You're hoping that they will go into the home. The person will try to respond because all they know is somebody just broke into their house. The cops will shoot them. That's what swatting is. So that's part of it too. I don't agree with that. And then of course you have media-driven narratives. Person's guilty or innocent, but the media picks a side and they will convict a person based on political.
Well, that was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is what always rings in my mind because they blasted Johnny Depp to like the Stone Age, and then when they actually went to court, they're like, "Are you retarded?
Yeah,
he did nothing."
Exactly. So all of that happens in the media. Floyd was a good example of that.
Oh,
they had the cop convicted. It was fun. I actually was just testing with this last night with ChatGPT, and so I said, "Tell me about the George Floyd case," right? And it had that it listed it as a positive for the justice system, And then I argued back and I said, however, you completely forgot this evidence that Floyd swallowed fentanyl and what was it, meth, enough to kill him.
Maybe, but
Yeah, that's what they found in his system. And and that because they tried to say that what the cop was doing by putting his knee on his back and us to kill him, but there's no evidence of that at all. There was no damage to his trachea.
Even the body cam video that they showed, like at the good angle, showed like they showed the full body angle of it from the guys that were stepping back from him. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. That's the thing. It's like because I've had that training too. I was a Navy cop, not at arms. It was reserves. No, that was okay, but still, I had to do that. And what they did mostly wrong was that once he was down and he was cuffed and all of that, you're supposed to let them up. Right, you're supposed to take because he's now subdued. You're supposed to let them up so they can breathe easier and all that kind of stuff. And the other cops should have intervened when it went on too long. However, that didn't kill the guy. None of that was shown to be the cause of death. The coroner didn't say it had anything to do with it. It was most likely the drugs. There was one juror that came out after and was interviewed and said that she voted guilty solely because of the mob and the media had already doxed the address or location of at least one of the jurors.
Yeah.
They were afraid. So that was a failure in the justice system,
I mean, not only that, but they didn't show the whole context. I mean, like they had him in the patrol car. He said, I couldn't breathe. Okay. That's when he was saying it right then. So they opened up the door. They let him sit out, get some air, let him out. Like you said, they put him on the ground so he can, upright so that he can breathe. And then he tried to get away or cause a fuss. And that's when they had to put him down on the ground. And they don't talk about that. And they was like, nope, they just stuffed some cuffs on him, slammed his face into the ground, and put his knee on his neck.
Yeah.
It was against his shoulder blades.
Yeah, it was a bit high, like I said. It wasn't the way I was trained to do it because it can cause issues. But there was no evidence in the coroner's report that showed that was resulted in the guy's death.
Yeah.
So he didn't die there on the spot. Had he died there on the spot, you might have had some consideration on that. But that's not what happened.
No.
When he was in the back of the vehicle saying that he couldn't breathe, they should not have taken him out of the vehicle.
They should have just told him to shut up and drove him directly to jail and been done with it.
Or they could have taken him to the hospital.
Yeah.
I worked at an ER in security. Cops did that kind of thing all the time. They bring him by, they get checked out, and then once the doctors gave the all clear, they take him to the jail. So when they make claims like that, okay, let them see an ER. Go to an ER. Not a problem. They're under cop, supervision the whole time, and security. So they ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, but the amount, I don't remember the exact amount of fentanyl in the system, but I know it wasn't like just over the legal, the kill ratio limit for it, for an overdose. It was like quadrupled or something like that.
My understanding was like a handful,
And so, just a little sliver of that is what they normally give to like when you're at a hospital, because it's so potent and it can cause so much damage. So
that's my point. It's like the justice system fails on multiple levels. So even when you have a situation where the cop should not have been prosecuted for murder. No, I hope he appeals and wins, but jurors sometimes get it wrong, and when you have a mob demanding a certain verdict, then that makes it worse. So, that's just kind of where it goes. But, of course, you got everything from, bail versus wealthy, if you got a lot of money, you're going to have more benefit than others, or qualified immunity. Cops violate the law and violate Fourth Amendment rights and, have no punishment, even when, had you and I done the same thing, we'd be spending years in prison. Yeah. So, I think, at a certain point, like qualified immunity should exist to a point. But, there are so many times when it's proven over and over and over that the cop had no right to do what they were doing, yet no consequences, or the city pays a bunch of money in a lawsuit. Okay, so the victim gets some money, right? But the cop gets to keep his job and nothing happens. He doesn't get prosecuted for doing what would send us to jail for years.
Yeah, that's something that I never agreed with. I mean, if you do something, hey, yeah, they're your brother and arms and all that good shit. The blue shield, they call it. But if you fuck up and you do fucked up, you should be prosecuted for that.
Right.
Ain't no one's perfect. It could have been a mistake. Okay, well, then there's consequences for mistakes. If it was intentional, then there's consequences for that too.
As simple as a cop walking onto your porch and covering or removing your porch camera. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Unless they have a warrant to do that, that is a crime.
Yeah.
So why are they not punished for it? You know?
I don't. Every state's a little different, but I know, like in Texas, they can go. I think it's like 3 feet onto your property. That's like the legal thing on there. So I mean, they, as long as you're more than 3 feet, technically they can't take you and drag you away from your property.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen people getting tackled on their front lawns still. So
yeah. Well, you know, like the Supreme Court determined that your front and back porch, immediately adjacent to your doors, you know, are I forget what they call it, but basically it's the same protections as if you're inside the house.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, like I said, they come up to your door and they remove your camera or they cover it up. That's a crime, unless they have a warrant to be there and do that. They're not allowed to do it. You know, these failures happen at multiple levels. They start at the bottom, they go all the way up to the top in court. You know?
And their mistakes are made for a monumental different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Political,
Mm-hmm.
financial. You know, people get bribes. Like, hey, you know, you want, here's a couple of $1,000 for your next campaign. Judge there, and you know. I think he deserves a harsher sentence or a lighter sentence. We want to be caring for them. But there just needs to be transparency. If you did a crime, it doesn't matter who you are, what your life is like. Rich, poor, doesn't matter. If you did the crime, you should do the time, as they say.
Yeah.
It should be fair across the board, period.
Absolutely. Did you have any more examples? I have a few.
No, those are the only two that just kind of caught me.
Okay, well, I'll just go real quick over these. Like, excuse me, case Taylor versus Riojas, Texas prison case, 2020, where he was kept in 2 different cells. They were disgusting, right? Feces, all kinds of crap all over it. It went to court, and basically, the prison guards, there was no consequences whatsoever. This is where they finally decided that this is actually illegal to do this, right? In 2020, why did it take so long?
It's Texas, you know, we don't treat our prisoners that way.
Right? You see, there was no consequences because the idea was that since it wasn't already illegal, there's no consequences. So there, you know, the Supreme Court decided that this is wrong. Other people can't do that. But then think of what happened with the J6 prisoners in Washington D.C. treated far worse than this guy. And nothing has happened to them, even though the Supreme Court had already decided that this.
But sir, that was
illegal.
more traumatic and hurtful than like Pearl Harbor.
Right.
It was more deadly than 9/11, sir. That was that much of a tragedy. A bunch of people calmly walking through a fucking building.
Seriously, man. You know, so apparently, unless it's been ruled illegal before to treat a man like human waste, it's just a learning moment.
Yep.
You know, and of course, we already went over the George Floyd. I listed that as a controversial because obviously some people believe it's a good ruling. People like myself don't.
I don't know,
and we already discussed why. But you know, seriously, it's just there are good cases. I can't remember what the third one was, but
yeah, because you never remember the really good ones, like the ones that were actually like, okay, justice was served.
Yeah.
always remember the bad ones, and there's so many of them.
The bad ones are easy to remember because they stick with you. But you know, you get a case like Daniel, I'm going to butcher his name, Holtzclaw, Oklahoma City police officer convicted in 2015. What he was doing was, you may have even heard this on the news because this is where I remember.
Sounds familiar.
He was taking women, mostly black but not all, with a criminal record, and he was threatening them, and he was basically saying that he was going to, you know, arrest them and get them prosecuted and all that kind of stuff for sexual favors, which is, you know, rape, by definition. Yeah, eventually, enough of them came forward, and you know, the investigators actually investigated and found this guy guilty. You know, he got prosecuted, and he's going to spend a whole lot of. He got 18 counts, 263 years in prison was the sentence. More than most murderers. Yeah, I hate to say. I mean, I'm sorry. This is terrible. Do not do this to women, and you should go to jail if you do something like that. But 263 years compared to a 20-year possible maximum for manslaughter.
Me personally, I think rape should be considered the same charges as murder, because granted that person can more than likely survive, but their life's over. I mean, they're going to be traumatized for that entire thing. I think even the penalty for these pedos that go out there and rape children should be even worse than that.
That's
They
actually-
should fry them in the electric chair, bring them back to life, and fry them again.
That's actually something I should have looked up because I was thinking about that too. There are so many examples of really light sentences for raping a child.
Yeah.
And what gets
Well,
me on
look at that
is like,
sundress. What she was wearing.
when I hear that, I immediately suspect the judge is a pedo
Yeah.
because it's like, most of us are highly protective of children,
Yeah.
right? So somebody does that, first thing we want to do, we want to see something tough. We want to see them truly punished and discouraged. And then you say, got 2 years for raping a 2-year-old. What the hell? That's a judge that wants to do it himself or is,
Or they do this stupid chemical castration, which there's ways around it. They just order some testosterone from Mexico, and bam, you're back in business within a few days. It's broken. I do like what Florida's doing with that shit, though. They're considering now any pedophile. I don't know the age consideration, but yeah, they're implementing the death penalty for it.
Wow.
So it's I think it's the first state to ever implement that policy, and kudos.
It'll drop pedophilia,
Or it'll drop a lot of pedophiles, one or the other.
Yeah, it'll drop the actual. Well, yeah, because a lot of that is within the underground sex rings and slavery. So it's not exactly like it's being broadcast. But then we didn't hear a lot about it in the media. But one of the kudos to our current FBI director and assistant director, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. They just recently caught a whole bunch of sex traffickers and found a bunch of kids and saved them and a bunch of people that were raping these children. I don't remember the exact number.
Did you hear about the news story in California where ICE raided that farm, and that's all? And they found kids working there, and all for the media. All I saw was like they're raiding hardworking farmers. It was a weed farm.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I went to
It was a weed farm,
and the whole thing was trying to make it sound like a bad thing. It was like, oh, they're getting these hardworking immigrants, and comment after comment is like, oh, you guys forgot that it's a weed farm and they were using child labor. It's like they were getting bashed left and right because they were hiding the truth, while trying to spin the story. It's disgusting.
It's the same story that I get. Like if you go back to the 1800s. The whole reason for the Civil War was Democrats were like, hey, you can't free our slaves. Who's going to pick our crops? You move now to 2025. It's the exact same shit. Hey, you can't deport our illegals because who's going to pick our crops?
It's the same argument. It's ridiculous.
There's a video you guys need to watch of fucking, it's Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. And he's talking about Democrats and it's a long speech about him talking about how anything a Republican does or anything to betterment that party, they'll flip-flop. So if the economy is surging, well, something else is happening. What about foreign policy? They try to deflect everything good to make it bad. I don't know how fucking the Republican, well, I do know people are stupid, but it's very interesting. If you look it up on YouTube, it just put Ronald Reagan Democrat. It's acts as what he's saying is the exact same shit that's still happening right now. That's 45 years ago.
Yeah. I know it's kind of weird, but I was a Reaganite even when I was a kid because I was in the 80s.
I like Reagan. Reagan was awesome.
Right? Not that he was perfect, but he was a really good president.
I liked him because everyone was scared shit of him. He reminds me of Trump. They're like, this motherfucker will just all right, we're bombing your ass, and just does it. He doesn't do any. Oh no, when you got to go for a committee, let's talk about it. He tries peace, and if that doesn't work, well, fuck you.
And he did it for good reasons too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the whole thing. It just drives me nuts, whether it's the broken justice system or the political system, like you were talking about what the Democrats do. I figured this out a long time ago. It takes something. Romney wasn't a big fan of the guy, but he did run for president, right? And how the Democrats, whenever they're fighting over a budget, they will always claim that the Republicans want to take away money from your grandma and Social Security and all that kind of stuff, right? And what they'll do is they will propose a higher increase, like say 7, 8, 9%, whatever, right?
Yeah.
The Republicans say, no, we need a 3 or 4%, right? Something lower. And what do? They go out onto the media and they say, oh, they want to take away money from Social Security, and they'll have pictures or commercials of Romney throwing an old woman over a cliff in a wheelchair, right?
I would have paid money to see that for us. Like, just look at him.
You know, but you see, that's the thing. That's just a flat out lie, right?
Yeah.
They're not, a smaller increase is not a cut. It's still increasing. It's just not as increasing as much as the Democrats propose, and they do that on purpose so that they can have that lie. But that's just one example of so many that we have.
Well, I mean, look at what, like, just these days now, the whole tariff thing. It's like, oh, it's going to destroy the economy. The Dow's going to go down. And now it's like been implemented for months now.
Mhm.
And like, the Dow is up. Inflation's down. I think it went down like 1.something%.
Mm-hmm.
Groceries are down. I filled up the other day for $25 of gas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's silent. You don't hear anyone on the other side talking about it. Like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
Eggs are still increasing. And then you find out a lot of that is because of fucking people in California. And like, I was briefly read about some kind of article with they're being sued by the Trump administration because of 3 rules or something, laws that they passed over there. And they're actually causing the inflation on eggs.
Wow.
I need to look into that. Maybe we'll talk about it.
I'd like to learn more about that.
Yeah. That sounds interesting.
I thought eggs are cheap.
Yeah. Down here, I think I
cheap,
bought a dozen eggs for like under $4.
I think the reason last time that they were so high is because there's bird flu.
Yeah, they had that bird flu, and they had to recall some eggs.
That's the excuse. Seriously, they keep. I think that's the whole purpose of that is just to actually raise egg and chicken prices.
I think that's what they did for beef too. They had the mad cow disease scare.
They started calling crap they don't need to call. They're not saying this bird tested positive for bird flu, so we're going to call it. They're just like, they claim one pest tested positive, so they cull the entire herd.
Yeah.
Or the entire flock, I guess you can call it for birds. So they'll kill an entire, farm's worth of chickens because one came up positive. Test them all. Separate them. I don't care.
Imagine if they were doing that shit with COVID. Oh, you got one sick child in there. All right, everyone in the house also has to be sanitized.
I just don't believe it, because seriously, it was a real problem. Because it's not a problem in small farms,
no,
family farms. They're not getting the bird flu and they're all dying from it or anything like that. Nobody's even catching it. So I think it's nonsense. I think the whole thing is just a fraud.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you tell a lie enough times and it becomes the truth.
Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I have no evidence to back that up. But this has been going on for years. This isn't a new thing. And in all of these years, nobody in any of these farms caught the bird flu as a result.
No.
So,
well, I think it's have we talked enough about our broken system?
yes, we went on to that for a long time.
Oh yeah, pretty long, and we still have like your takeaway to go to. So
yeah, I forgot about a takeaway. No, I didn't.
All right, well, cue the entrance music for James's takeaway.
James Takeaways, hear his voice resound. In the heart of a moment, wisdom's found. Every thought's a treasure, every laugh's a win. With confidence, we'll let the journey begin.
All right, James, go ahead.
All right. Well, this goes back to my intro, the leggings illusion. Okay. All right. Today's takeaway, leggings. We used to call them workout gear. Now they're just pants with boundary issues. I mean, they're everywhere. Gym, Target, the office, and they're so tight. You can see what she had for breakfast and how far real. I mean, seriously, you can see camel toe. I mean, come on, guys. Every crack, every contour. Google Earth doesn't zoom in that far.
No shit.
Seriously. And don't give us the death glare when we glance. You don't wear a neon sign and get mad when people read it. Look, I'm a man. I see an attractive woman in leggings. I'm going to look. I am, okay? It's biological, and honestly, I like what I see. Well, not always. Some women should never, and I mean never, ever wear leggings outside the privacy of their own homes.
That's a privilege. It shouldn't be a right.
That's right. You know who you are. Now, if a guy wore something that tight at work, HR would rappel from the ceiling and confiscate his pants. So just maybe a little mutual understanding is in order.
I don't know. I had a couple of girls in HR that, okay, never
They'll
mind.
wear them too. HR wears them.
So you're saying you want to wear tights? Is that what you're saying?
No, I
He
don't
wants to
want
dress like Superman every
I
once
don't
in a
want there
while.
to be a mutual thing. Why is there?
No, I'm talking about the looking. When we look,
Oh.
don't complain. You're wearing them, and of course we're gonna look. I mean, seriously, guys.
It's like the same thing with like chicks that wear something really, really low cut.
Yeah, they got their cleavage all hanging out, and then they're mad, and they're like, "My eyes are up here." It's like you're putting yourself on display.
Your tits are hanging out. They're not
You know?
smart bombs, Well, they're sort of like smart bombs. They're going to hit your target from the man you want,
Exactly.
but you're going to have a lot of collateral damage on the sides too.
Exactly. So, in conclusion, I'll keep my eyes mostly up if you stop pretending that spandex is modest.
There is no modesty nowadays.
No, there is none.
I mean,
So,
I knew that like when my daughter was growing up, and then every time I see her on Facebook or Instagram, she's got her tits hanging out.
Mhm.
And I'm constantly leaving messages, cover those things up, please. But that's what everyone else does.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to start doing, I think I'm going to start walking around with like half a ball out.
Seriously.
Just
I
like,
mean-
I'm up here. What are you doing? What are you doing? And put some sparkly shit,
Right.
some glitter.
Right.
Maybe a big neon sign like on my shirt just pointing down.
Right. I mean,
It's
yeah.
like, would you like an almond joy?
Yep. Yep.
Ugh.
Seriously, that's really what it all boils down to is the double standard. Obviously, guys can get in trouble for looking, yet they advertise themselves in a way that makes you want to look.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe what I'll do is I'll invent the ball bra, right? You strap it, you hang them out of your zipper, but they're not fully exposed because you got a little ball. Of course, I'd have to make one for like people that like only have like one ball, like one exploded or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we can just strap it up there. It's like it's a man bra, but for your ball.
Yes.
Yeah, because my balls hang a little too low or whatever the hell. And then we'll see what the affection is. Now, the dick will be inside. No one wants to see that. But the balls, that's a man's tits. It's the man's tits. So it needs the bra.
Yep.
We'll call it the bro. The rip-off
The bro.
Seinfeld. I think I broke Brandon.
Right? Yeah, it's like I have no desire to wear leggings. But could you imagine if a man did that? You would see everything. And the women would be complaining instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But then why don't you just say, my eyes are up here. My eyes are up here. Stop looking down there. Look up here. Just do what women do.
Just do what women do. And mentioning of which, we have one more segment before the game, but I'm going to just go ahead and skip that one as we're running a little long today. We'll bring that up next week.
Yeah, sounds fun.
But it's time for the game. Intro music.
It's time to play the game. It's time for this or that.
Okay, so intro music's done. So this week's, and I want everyone to now go ahead and look at the screen. This game is going to be called Chick or with Dick. So, and no, this is not a joke where they're all transvestites. So I could have done that. I thought about doing that. I did not. But so
These
here's
days
the.
it's getting harder because they're transitioning younger and younger.
Yeah, that's
And where they're
true.
getting the hormones.
All right, I
before
gotta move
they-
my computer so Brandon doesn't look at the answers.
Okay, so what are you?
You
wanting
gotta
us
tell
to do?
me if this girl
Yeah.
is an actual girl
Uh-huh.
or she was or is a biological man.
So you're saying she's trans?
Yes, either she's
Trans or not?
either post or pre-op, but either she used to have a dick or she's just biological woman.
So all of them are trans.
No, there's a few that they're actual women, which wasn't actually that hard to find them. I just looked up supermodels. Most of them look like trans to me.
Well, they get all that plastic surgery and stuff, so it can kind of mess you up.
Yeah,
and
a
make you
little
look
bit.
fake.
So
Yeah.
this first one her name is Carmen Carrera. Is she a woman, a biological woman, or is she a man?
I'm gonna say man.
Yeah, that's a dude.
She did have a dick. That would be correct.
Yeah. You know, it used to be easier to tell these things. But
Nowadays, it's like, Jesus Christ.
yeah.
All right, next one on the list. This is Iris King. Dick or no dick?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say no.
That's a dude.
So you're saying woman, and you're
Yeah,
saying man.
I'm not wearing my glasses,
dude.
but
That's your excuse. I'm not wearing my
Yeah.
glasses.
yeah.
Okay, so no penis, penis.
Yeah, that's a dude.
It is a dude.
Okay. Yeah.
They get harder, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, the pun. But yeah, they do get harder.
I should have figured it out. The hand, if you look at the hand, it's a manly hand.
A manny hand. All right, next one. This one is Linda Evelynus. I think that's how she or he says her name. Chick or dick?
That's a difficult one, you know. All that, I don't know.
That's a dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna say dude. It's hard to tell, honestly, because it seems like it's been the way the picture's done. It's all blurry and
You could tell. It's a dude.
It's a female.
No, look at the Adam's apple.
She's a chick.
Look at the Adam's apple.
She's a chick.
No way.
I've looked it up, making
fucking
sure.
way, that's
I
a dude.
verified. I went to these people's
Yeah,
houses
yeah.
and I looked.
Oh, well, she's got bad genes.
Yeah, she
It's a
could.
dude.
it's the eyes. And, yeah, I don't know.
The eyes. Alrighty. So, oh, you guys got that wrong. I should make you jelly beans, but I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, guys.
What is this?
This is
It's his mom.
Jenna Takovak.
That's a dude, man. It's a dude.
I'm gonna say dude. I'm not actually sure about that one.
So we're both
Oh my
we're both
God.
going dude here.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's a dude. Man.
It is a
There's
dude.
no
Yeah.
way. Just look at
Shoot.
the hands, dude.
Yeah.
Dude has big ass fucking
Well,
hands.
some women do too, but they're playing for the NBA.
But look at that. Look at that fucking hand. That's
Yeah.
man's hand right there.
The man's hand.
Man's
Usually,
hand.
usually, if you can see the hands, especially in the ratio to their arms, you can usually tell the difference.
Oh my god, where do you find these people?
All right, this is Christy Turlington. Is this a girl or is it a guy?
Oh, I'm sorry, Christy. You're a dude.
That person's been on estrogen for a long time. You know what? I'm going to say dude just because I think that you're going to make them all dudes.
This is actually a chick.
Okay.
Oh, bad genes, dude.
That
No,
is
actually,
actually a
Bad
chick.
genes.
It actually does look like a chick, but again, because of the surgeries and the way that they're doing things today, it can really be difficult to tell, especially with just a picture.
Actually, I just fucked up.
What?
I skipped one.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, the last one was April Ashley. You both got it right, Dick. This is Jenna. Like I said, this is a dick too.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
This is a dude.
Yeah, this is a dude.
I knew this.
Damn, I screwed up on that. I need to start printing. I didn't print out my list this week, so I'm having to navigate 3 damn screens. All right. So, next one.
Wait, so the one we missed that you said we missed, we actually got it right?
Well, now that one, I already gave you the answer for it. This is a chick. So, but yeah, you both got it right.
Well, I would have said this is a girl. This looks like a girl.
Yeah, well, I already spoiled it for you. So,
Yeah.
last one.
Oh my god.
Is this a chick or
hell,
does she have a dick?
Okay, so this one I'm gonna say this is pretty hard.
Really, it is,
This is a
sir.
pretty hard one.
You know, and I should ask you guys the question
This is a
too.
pretty hard one.
Would you kick her out of bed?
Huh?
Would you kick her out of bed?
Would I kick her out of bed?
I don't know. Because she ain't naked, because, I don't know what's underneath that skirt.
You got to answer now, sir. That's what we're going to do the next time we play this one. You got to tell me whether you think it's a chick, and if it is, you got to tell me would you bang her.
No, not doing that, because reality is there's
I mean,
still-
so far you guys have been pretty good at this.
Yeah. I've never been wrong when I've met one in
That's a
person,
dude.
but pictures can be a little difficult. So I will say, I want to say, dude, I'm not positive on that one.
So we're sure we're sinking them in,
I'm
dude.
saying
Dude,
it's a dude. I'm saying
even
it's a
though
dude, dude.
I'm not positive, but
believe it or not, that is a dude.
that is
I
So-
could tell, dude, from his fucking shoulders. And his arm, I could tell. I fucking knew it.
As far as trannies go,
Fucking knew it.
that's
But
actually impressive.
That is very
I
good
have known-
because that can go both ways.
Yeah, because I've known women with that actual figure. Right?
If ever a state was more fitting,
Mhm.
that would be good.
Yeah.
Good job, Brandon.
That's crazy.
The hands look a bit big for her body. But so
No, actually, I think the hands are.
Yeah, the hands look proportional.
Yeah, they do. They look like a woman's hands, honestly.
I mean, you know,
I think it's because of the nails and stuff. But
It
I
could
could
be.
tell because of the arm and the shoulders and the back.
Let's zoom in on this.
Yeah, zooming in helps.
Yeah, look at that. You see?
I mean, it doesn't look like horrible. I mean, she got good surgery, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
I don't see any
they
like
even
hair on their knuckles
they even
or
got
anything.
the back tattoo like a girl would.
Yeah. And unfortunately, with this angle, you can't see if they have like an Adam's apple
Yeah.
right there.
And even that, you can get surgery that to change that. So it's it's really not fair.
No, it's not.
They can just deceive you and no consequences.
Well, it's weird to me that you get so many people that don't even have the surgery yet.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, everyone that I showed had the surgery, so they don't have a dick anymore, but they started with one. And that's fine. I mean, if you're going to go all the way, me personally, my opinion on it, I think it's a mental illness.
It is.
But if you're going to do it and say, hey, I'm a woman, do the surgery at least. You'll never be able to reproduce, and you'll never have a period, but at least I'd feel more comfortable you going into a fucking woman's restroom.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but yeah, if you got a dick, you ain't a chick.
Yeah. Of course, they don't tell you the damage that it causes and the lack of sexual pleasure that you're going to have for the rest of your life. And
I've seen a video of
the
how the
constant
surgeon,
issues.
they literally cut your dick off and then they fillet it like I'm like grilling it on like
Yeah.
a hot top, and then they flip it inside out and then they convert it into like your snatch, and like, who thought this was a good
Right?
idea?
You got to constantly be maintaining it all the time.
Plaster and
It's ridiculous.
glue. A little silly putty. We'll just go. That crack will clear up.
So sad.
It is, but I'm not getting a sex change. So,
No.
although someone offered me $50 million, I would, only if I can get it reversed after I got the money. Just me. Give me $50 million. But people out there, you give me $50 million, I will go have the surgery. And as soon as it's done, you give me my money, and then I get it switched back.
It's not worth it.
At that point, you can't get it switched back. I mean, you can pretend, but
I just get one of those penile implants. They can stuff it in there and then just give me that liquid that just pumps it up. There's your stiffy.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I am cool being half robot.
A robot dick.
Yes. They can start calling me the jackhammer.
Oh man. Yeah,
Sorry,
no thanks.
Coconut, if you're watching. I know you don't want to hear about my dick. Final thoughts, guys.
Oh, final thoughts.
That's a
sucks.
dude. That's a fucking dude, I'll tell you.
Right.
Well, we can just go over
I
it
don't
real
know.
quick.
That was all of them?
Yeah, that was only 7, but we can go over them real quick one more time, so we can, get everyone on the list. So to answer everyone's question,
That's just nasty.
let's see here. Yeah. So, dick, chick, dick,
Mm-hmm.
dick, chick, dick. Everyone caught up.
Yeah.
Never want to talk about dick again. Well, at least not until next week. Next
Boobs are
week,
better.
then maybe we'll
Yeah.
talk about
Boobs
it.
are a better subject.
Yeah, true. Final thoughts, guys.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I have final thoughts.
Ooh.
Leggings are a public service when worn responsibly.
I actually saw some chick when I was at Stripes last night. I was going in to buy a coffee or something. And those, I guess they're yoga pants or whatever, were so tight. I could probably look, I looked at her ass and I thought I saw all the way up to her kidneys. So I'm like,
it's
holy
like goes right
shit.
up there, man.
And I was in my car about to leave and I just stood there and waited for a little while. I was like, Oh, she's out of view. Okay, and then I just drove
right?
off.
I mean, it's almost like they just painted them on. It's ridiculous.
Well, it annoys me when they wore those fucking things that just say like, juicy or like, come on. I've seen some women wear that. Be honest with the slogans like crabby, crunchy,
Mm-hmm. Or they might as well just put a sign that says, "Please stare at my ass because I'm feeling, I don't know, self-conscious or something."
Or the ones that weigh like 400 pounds wearing those fucking things, wide load.
Yes, wide load. That
That
would be
install
funny.
like one of those little beeper things every time they have to back up. Beep,
Yes.
beep.
Yeah, I should put something like that on my Etsy page or something, and only have the big size available. I have some for the small girls, for the fun size girls. I have these shirts that literally just say fun size, and I only have them in the small sizes. I do not have them in larger sizes because you're not fun size if you're bigger.
Well, yeah, I mean you're fun size, but you have to find that particular person that is into your fun. So, by the way, Brandon is single. He is the funnest size ever of all.
Women love them.
Final thoughts, Brandon.
Stay hard.
Stay hard.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Well, with this game that we played, that's
gonna not make me hard at all.
no.
Yeah.
If anything, it just made me confused.
I was not confused. Those are dudes.
Hey, you guys missed a few.
No, I got all of them right.
Sure, sir.
Except for the one that was a girl, but she looked like a dude.
Yeah. And what's worse is I didn't keep track of it like I normally do.
That's fine. I mean, Ram's not here. I brought the jelly beans and everything, but I was like, it's only funny when Ram does it because you guys have a very high tolerance for the spice. So when Ram does it, he's like, holy shit. And he's like sweating and he's like, but then as soon as the sun came in, I was like, I can't play this game with him. What if he grabs one of the jelly beans? You can't do that. So I got to get, like, if he ever brings his son again, we'll have to, I'll have to buy regular jelly beans to keep his son occupied while I'm giving the horrible shit to him.
Get him gummy bears.
That's not a bad idea.
Jelly
We can have
beans.
like a tournament of champions with the game,
Mm-hmm.
and the loser has to do one of those nitro gummy bears. Of course, I have you already on video for doing one, so but Ram hasn't done one, so that would be fun. So I'll just intentionally make his questions harder.
Yeah, go make him sit on the toilet for a while. That's exactly what that does to you.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
My final thoughts this week. I'm gonna miss you, David. You're in a better place because the valley's hot as fuck right now. All joking aside, it's a tragedy what happened, and to that piece of shit Cristobal, fuck off.
Thank you for listening.